Alrighty, folks, I want to welcome you to this evening session of the 2021 Keystone Aquatics Winter Invitational. We're going to get started in just a moment with event number 31. If you're still navigating to our live stream, know that we're live on Facebook and YouTube. If you're helping a family member find the live stream, simply searching Keystone Aquatics will find you this afternoon's session on Facebook or YouTube. And we're going to get started with some heats of 200 backstroke in just a few minutes. I'm going to go grab myself a coffee, and we'll kick off in just a moment. Event number 31.
We got about 4 minutes till we're going to get this show on the road, so we're going to get my timers and officials put our stations. I see a parade of white shirts walking in now, so I'm assuming our officials are ready to go. We have plenty of officials today, so thank you to everybody for volunteering. Your help and support is very much appreciated here at Keystone Aquatic Center. Without our volunteers, we couldn't run these meets as well as we do. So thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Keystone Aquatic Center. We're going to be starting tonight with event number 31, which will be girls 13-14, 200-yard backstroke. The first heat will have 6 swimmers. Mr. Referee, whenever you're ready.
Okay, so as we just heard from the public address, we're going to kick off with 2 heats of the 13-14 girls 200-yard backstroke. Getting in the water now is going to be heat number 1. Okay, so I'm hoping everyone is all settled in. Perhaps you got the HDMI cord out and are sticking this evening's session up on the television at home, so we can really enjoy these first couple heats of 200 backstroke. In the water for heat number 1 in lane 2 is Spearing, 3 is Martin, 4 Watchke, 5 Hosley, 6 Rodriguez, and 7 Gottlieb. Top seed in this group. Well, that's Caitlin Watchke in lane 4. She's been 2:32.79 at her best. And she's the leader at the 50 mark. 34.93 is the first 50 split for Watchke out of lane 4. So someone just pointed out some valuable information here for me in the lobby. For those of you viewing at home who might not know, from your camera angle, the lanes at the top of your screen are the lower numbers. So the very top lane you can see is lane number 1. Closest to the bottom of your screen would be lane number 8. So as we know, the top seed is in lane 4, and that's smack in the middle of the pool. And for heat number 1, it's certainly been Watchke the whole way so far, but again, for your own viewing experience, lane number 1's top of your screen, 8 is at the bottom. 50 yards remain in heat number 1 as Caitlin Watchke has extended her lead to just close to 4 seconds on the second closest swimmer in the field. That's Martin in lane 3. Okay, so from start to finish, it has been Watchke out of lane 4, and she'll take heat number 1. Half a second under the previous best time. So she's 2:32.24 to take heat number 1. Martin will touch second at 2:36.96. That's a new best for Martin as well by 3 whole seconds. Third in the heat will go to Rodriguez, 2:42.52. So it's a best time by half a second for Caitlin Watchke to lead out this evening session, 2:32.24 out of heat number 1. We'll see what we get in heat number 2. That'll be a full heat, 8 swimmers coming up.
Event number 31, girls 13-14, 200-yard backstroke. Heat number 2 of 2, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now, we've got a full heat, 8 swimmers. Swimming out of lane 1 is Fraudurfer, 2 is Leonard, 3 Burkholder, 4 Shackley, 5 Hassis, 6 Fickett, 7 Liebfried, and 8 Christopher. Top seed in lane 4, Leah Shackley, has the top seed time by a big margin. She's been 2:06.56 at her best, and she already has a 2-body length lead as we approach the third wall of the race, the 75 mark. The next closest swimmer is Nicole Hassis in lane 5. She's been 2:20.74 at her best. So usually the advice for a coach isn't to just watch the folks around you, but, if you're on either side of Shackley here and you just kind of stay in distance there, you might be setting yourself up nicely for a best time. But it's definitely Shackley at the halfway point. 1:02.82 is her 100 split. If she can bring that back in a 1:03, she'd be looking at a best time. That's a tight window, but stranger things have happened with 75 yards remaining now for Shackley, the leader in heat number 2. So the next closest swimmer with 50 yards remaining has still been Hassis, who was trailed by 7 seconds at the 150 mark. Now 25 yards remaining at, it looks like it's 10 or 11 seconds. And a really nice acceleration into the finish for Leah Shackley. And she splits the race amazingly. So out in 102, back in 103, and actually it'll be a 102 high for the second 100. It's Leah Shackley even splitting the race to take the 13-14 girls 200 back. 2:05.36, folks, that's a legit time. That's very nice swim for Shackley. Out of lane 5, Hassis controlled second the whole time, and she's 2:18.62. Lifetime best for her by 2 seconds. Third is going to go to the one swimmer the next lane up in lane 6, Fickett, 2:22.54. That's a 3-second drop for Emma Fickett out of lane 6. But it was Shackley who even split the race, controlled the whole time, and took the win, 2:05.36.
Event 32, boys 13-14, 200-yard backstroke. We'll be having 2 heats. Heat number 1, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is event number 32. The boys 13-14 200 backstroke. Similarly to the ladies before them, there's going to be 2 heats. Heat number 1 has 7 swimmers. Lane 2 is Fink, 3 Honyan, 4 is Bonavoglia, 5 Eggert, 6 Belder, 7 Karkenko, and 8 Owens. A nice first 50 split for Belder in lane 6. He's got the lead with a 31.82 at the 50 mark. He's seated with no time, so whatever Stephen Belder pieces together here will be a new lifetime best. I'm assuming this could be his first 200 backstroke, or at least the first one we've got on record. So it will be Belder with the lead at the 100 mark. Next closest will be in lane 3, Andrew Henyon. 1:07.30 is Belder's halfway split in heat number 1 of the 200 backstroke. Okay, it'll be 2:21.14 to take heat number 1, and we'll call that a new best time for Stephen Belder. Second, the whole time was Henyon, and he touches with, we'll also call this a best time as well, 2:23.14. He was also seated with no time. Third is going to go to Bonavoglia out of lane 4, 2:37.82. His previous best was 2:39.39, so 2-second drop for him as well. That finishes up heat number 1. Next up in the group will be heat number 2.
Event number 32, boys 13-14, 200-yard backstroke. Heat number 2 of 2, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, now we're in the water for heat number 2. 8 swimmers. Swimming in lane 1 is Troy, 2 Mole, 3 Desclose, 4 Tran, 5 Kermakov, 6 Miller, 7 Flickinger, and 8 is McGovern. Top seed, Gavin Tran's in lane 4. And Tran leads at the 50 mark by 0.2 of a second. Gavin Tran's best is 2:10.32. Got to be a little kick in the butt seeing Leah Shackley's time from the previous event. She took the win in 2:05. We'll see if Tran or Kermakov is racing Tran most closely now. We'll see if they have anything to say about that awesome first time from Shackley. And at the 100 mark, it is still Tran by about 1 second, 1:02.04. Like I said, the best is 2:10.32 for Tran, so setting himself up for a best. Normally in the 200 backstroke, splits are separated by about 2 seconds between that first and second 100. It's what I would call a swim done correctly. So if he's out in 1:02, that would seem to suggest a best time is on the horizon, as the next closest swimmer is definitely still Grant Kermakov. Interestingly, Tran and Kermakov are both 13-year-olds. Tran stopped at the 150, so that's an accident. Okay, maybe not a best time. Maybe not a best time in anymore. But Kermakov is enjoying the lead now after he's probably oblivious to that mistake anyway, but Tran's got 25 yards left to go. Kermakov's got 3 yards on him now because of that mistake. But, hey, we learn as we go. And third is almost definitely going to be Bryce Miller in lane 6. So it'll be Kermakov first at the wall, who had a nice swim throughout as well and deserves that win regardless. 2:11.23 will be Kermakov. Tran is 2:13.62. Imagine sitting on the wall for a few seconds and still earning second place. That's not too bad. Miller will be third, 2:17.85. So Tran falls short of the best time. Probably could have, well, definitely could have gone it. But, well, that's just, motivation in the tank for the next time he gets out and does it. That's it for 13-14 boys, 200 back. Up next, open girls.
Heat number 1 should have 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now, heat number 1 of 3 of the open girls 200 backstroke. Swimming in lane 1 is Bonavoglia. 2 is Skiles. 3, Hook. 4, Holmes. 5, Frondorfer, 6 Hoper, 7 Solman, and 8 Ivanchukov. The leader is definitely lane 4, Jordan Holmes, who's got a 5-yard lead just 75 yards into this 8-length event. Okay, so Holmes has kept that lead the entire race after a rocket first 50. 146.04 is her 150 mark. She's got 30 yards remaining, and then there's a kind of pack of swimmers racing for third. Second definitely belongs to Solman in lane 7. That's Meredith Solman. So Holmes' best has been 2:28.05. She's going to crush that. The question is by how much, and it could be more than 5 seconds. 2:28's been the best. 2:23.95 is the new lifetime best for Jordan Holmes out of lane 4 from Lancaster. 2:28.57. That'll earn a best time by, 12 seconds for Solman, who earns second in the heat. Third will be up in lane 3, Sierra Hawk, who is 2:34.49. So a big lifetime best for Holmes, takes the heat in 2:23.95. Up next, heat 2.
Event 33, girls 200-yard backstroke, heat number 2 of 3, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Alrighty, we roll right on to heat number 2. Swimming in lane 1 is new, and 2, Cole, 3, Price, 4, Friedlander, 5, Teresa, 6, Crawford, 7's Pari, and 8, Benka Davies. Okay, so we haven't seen a whole lot of competitive heats so far. A lot of lane 4 swimmers establishing a lead early and keeping it. This could be the one that breaks that trend up, as they are through 3 out of the 8 lengths in this heat, and it looks like a 5 or 6 swimmer race between lanes 2 and 6 and everyone in between. The top seed is Ellie Friedlander. 2:13.94 is her best, so look for a time in the low 2 teens to take the heat, as 1:05 is the leading split at the halfway point. Okay, at the touch now. It's lane 6, Crawford, who had the lead at the 100 and held on by a second to take heat number 2. 2:14.60 is the time, which is a nice 3-second drop for Crawford. Second belongs to Terezas, 2:15.83. That is right a couple tenths shy of the previous best. Third in the group was out of lane 3. That was Maddie Price. She was 2:16.57, half second shy of the best time for her. So it's Ella Crawford who took heat number 2. Final heat of this event, heat number 3 coming up.
Event number 33, girls 200-yard backstroke. Heat number 3 of 3, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Alrighty, now is our final heat of event number 33, the girls open 200-yard backstroke. This is heat number 3 in the water. In lane 1's Horner, 2's Hurlman, 3 Mahler, 4 Castro, 5 McCool, 6 Mellinger, 7 Pari, and 8 Collins. Leader in lane 4 is Castro, 28.15. That's the first split for Jade Castro, who's been 2:03.67 at her best. So a couple of pretty elite seed times here for Castro and McCool in 4 and 5. And they're definitely going to be the ones with the halfway split. It's going to be Castro with a whole body length on McCool. See if she touches at a 58. 58.33 is the halfway split for Castro. So 2:03.67 is the best. We could be setting ourselves up for a 2:01 or 2:02 here, depending on how Jade finishes out the race. Representing Nittany Lion here with just a little bit more than 50 yards remaining for Castro, and McCool is right there for second. Okay, so the third 50 split is a 31.97. If she can bring that back any faster than 32 high, she'll be looking at a best time. That'll get her under 2:03. Another 31.97 would be 2:02 and change. So hopefully the fourth 50 is even faster than the third. McCool's best has been 2:04. I think McCool might probably be looking at just about a 2:05, but it will be a best time most likely for Jade Castro, who commanded the race throughout. 2:02.66. Exactly 1.01 seconds faster than her previous best. That's a time to be excited about. Second was McCool, 2:06.27. Like we said, a second and a half shy of the previous best. Third was Mahler, 2:09.83. 0.8 shy of Mahler's previous best. So Castro takes the group and takes the event in 2:02.66. A quick heat there sets us up nicely for 3 heats of boys, 200 backstroke coming up.
Event 34, boys 200-yard backstroke. Heat number 1 of 3, 7 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 1 of event number 34, the boys 200-yard backstroke. Swimming in lane 1 is Kucherenko, 2 is Nice, 3 Erdley, 4 Nolde, 5 Subsc, 6 Hughes, and 7 the leader at the 100 mark. Looks like it's going to be a race between Sean Erdley and Kevin Nolde in 3 and 4. Erdley's got the lead. He's the lone swimmer under a minute at the 100 mark. 59.78 is the 100 split for Sean Erdley, whose best is 2:14.52. So Erdley's set himself up to, at the least break 2:10 for the first time, and probably a bit more. Kevin Nolde's best has been 2:12.46. That should fall as well. But the race for third features several swimmers all throughout the pool. It looks like it could be lane 1 or lane 5 with the edge with 50 yards remaining. Well, that'd be Kucherenko or Subsc for third. So 25 yards remain now for Sean Erdley, who's led throughout, and Kevin Nolde, who's been basically at his knees throughout. 2 yards separate the two swimmers, and a nice controlled tempo will finish it up nicely for Erdley. 2:02.16. How about a 12-second drop to lead out heat number 1? That's pretty special. 2:04.23. 8-second drop for Nolde to take second. Now we're just waiting on third, and it'll be Subsc out of lane 5. 2:14.44. Subsc's a second shy of his previous best. But, can't complain about finishing in that spot in the heat when the winner drops 12 seconds. So 2:02.16 will certainly place Sean Erdley into a later heat here, probably amongst the top group.
Event 34, boys 200.
Up next will be heat number 2.
2 of 3, Mr. Referee, 8 swimmers.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 2. Swimming in lane 1's East Step. 2 is Texter. 3, Orndorff. 4, Witt. 5 is East Step as well. So it's Colby up in lane 1 and Brandon in lane 5. 6 is John Brownstead. 7, Ryan Lee. And 8, Daniel Cassay. Looks like the leader at the halfway point is going to be John Brownstead out of lane 6. His previous best has been 2:05.02, and he's the lone swimmer under a minute at the 100 mark. 59.06 is the 100 for Brownstead. Oh, we're a little excited about that. His father is volunteering next to me here, controlling the camera and showing you all the good angles we've got on our live stream. So this will be the first race we've seen for Brownstead this evening, and could be a good one, as he's got just about 60 yards remaining. Next closest is lane 5, Brandon Eaststep. His best is 2:01.38. Eaststep won't get a best time today, but Brownstead very well might. 1:30.74 is the 150 split for Brownstead out of lane 6, as he's looking at 30 more yards to go. It's definitely going to be Eaststep for second. He won't go a best, but he might be just a second or two shy. And the race for third features several swimmers, but from the jump to the finish, it's Brownstead who takes heat number 2. 2:52. I know what's next on his bucket list for the 200 back. He'll be breaking 2 minutes before we know it. A 5-second drop takes the heat for Brownstead. Second is Eaststep out of lane 5, 2:03.51. He's a 2 seconds shy of his best. Third belonged to lane 3, Parker Orndorff. He is 2:06.61. So 2:00 is the new standard, as we have one heat remaining for the boys 200 backstroke.
Event 34, boys 200-yard backstroke, heat number 3 of 3, 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, this is just as we might be getting tired of watching it, we're finishing up 200 backstrokes with heat number 3 of event number 34, the Open Boys 200 back. There's 8 swimmers. In lane 1's McMillan, 2's Groff, 3 Lambert, 4 Desclus, 5 Kupski, 6 Mull, 7 Kawash, and 8 Kasse. That's interesting. The Kasses were in lane 8 in heat 2 and in heat 3. It was Daniel in heat 2 and Seth now in heat number 3. The top seed for the event is Ben Desclus out of lane 4. 151.29 is his seed time, which is a pretty comfortable margin ahead of the next couple swimmers as far as seed times go, but not a big margin at the 100 mark here. He's only ahead by half a second. 55.65 is the 100 split at the feet for Ben Desclus out of lane 4. Okay, so just about 15 yards remain in the final heat of the boys 2 back, and it's turning into a sprint to the finish. Kupski in lane 5 is just spinning to the wall. He'll come up a few tenths short. Desclus had the lead throughout, and he puts up a 153.67, too shy of his best, but it's a best time by a second for Kupski, and he earned it with that quick arm speed there at the end. 154.27 earned second for Kupski. Third is Kawash in lane 7. 158.53. So that 153.67 took the win. And a new best time for Kupski, takes second in the heat, and now we're on to some breaststroke.
Event 35, girls 13-14, 100-yard breaststroke. Heat number 1 of 3, 4 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, so we turn back around to our 13-14-year-olds. There's going to be 3 heats of event number 35, the girls 13-1400 breaststroke. There's 4 swimmers in the water for heat number 1. Swimming in lane 3 is Rodriguez, 4 Johnston, 5 Sellers, and 6 Castro. Okay, so first at the walls, 126.90 takes the heat win for Rodriguez, and she is like 30 seconds under her previous best. Second's Castro, 127.28. Third was Sellers, 128.73. 134.83 rounded out the heat for Lily Johnston out of lane 4. Up next, heat 2.
13-14, 100-yard breaststroke. Heat number 2 of 3, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 2. I'm getting distracted with some riveting conversation here in the lobby. I'm not even flipping my program over. In the water for heat number 2, lane 1's Martin, 2 Cherix, 3 Hassis, 4 Areza, 5 Frondorfer, 6 Liebfried, 7 Kyle, and 8 Fickett. Those Keystone swimmers always throw me off because there's a Kill and a Kyle, and they're separated by 1 letter. So I got that one right. Victoria Kyle is in lane 7. So the top seed has been 116.99 in this group. It looks like a 116 will take the event. Oh, I'm sorry, 115.98 is the winner. That's Hassis. Second will be Frondorfer, 117.65. Third was Liebfried, 118.28. Fourth was Ariza, 118.51. Got 1 heat remaining, heat number 3.
Event number 35, girls 13-14, 100-yard breaststroke. Heat number 3 of 3, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, heat number 3 is now in the water for the 13-14 girls 100 breaststroke. In lane 1, it's Gonzalez, 2 Bear, 3 Watsky, 4 Gugino, 5 Moore, 6 Workman, 7 Brownstead, and 8 Allison. First at the wall was a 31.85 for the top seed, Gugino, out of lane 4. Lily's best has been 105.88. So we saw that 31 at the first 50. We'll see if she can bring it back close to that. But some swimmers might be sitting right there with her with 25 yards remaining. Out of lane 3, Watsky looks set up for a possible best here. And so does Gonzalez up in lane 1, seated pretty far behind the middle of the pack. But she'll take a best time for sure. 107.07 will take the heat for Gugino. Watsky will be 107.53. That's a best time for her. Gonzalez is good for third, 108.13. She takes 5 and change off her previous best. 4 actually goes to Lily Moore out of lane 5, 110.11. But 107.07 takes the event win for the top seed, Lily Gugino. Up next, the 13-14 boys.
Boys 13-14, 100-yard breaststroke. We'll have 4 heats. Heat number 1, 3 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay. In the water now is event number 36. 3 swimmers in heat number 1. 13-14 boys, 100 breast. There's going to be 4 heats, most heats we've seen in any event thus far. Swimming in lane 3s, Karchenko, 4 Zamkov, and 5 Belder. So Zamkov and Belder are right together at the 50 mark, separated by 2 100ths of a second. 34.83 was Belder's fastest first 50 for the heat. Everyone's seated with no time, so everyone's going to go best time in my book, unless they get disqualified. But hasn't happened yet, at least to the best of my knowledge. I guess I'm not on the officiating team, but yeah, that was a cruel joke. I shouldn't even said it. No one's getting disqualified in this heat. Heat number 1 will go with a 113.67 to Belder. Zamkov was right there for second, 114.81. Not bad for a first time. 121.70 is good for third. for Karchenko. Up next, heat number 2.
Event 36, boys 13-14, 100-yard breaststroke. Heat number 2 of 4, 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 2. Swimming in lane 1's Bonavoglia, 2 is Johnson, 3 Eggert, 4 is Owens, 5 Sober, 6 Van Buskirk, 7 is Covington, and 8 Fink. Top seed in the heat's Zach Owens, 119.86 is his best. Oh, and he leads by a full second at the 50 mark, 36.08. Is the 50-yard split for Zach Owens out of lane 4. $116.59 takes heat number 2 for Zach Owens, who led throughout and puts up a best time by 3 seconds. Second will be lane 6, 122.07 for Van Buskirk. Best time for him as well. Third will be lane 5, Sober, 123.77. So a handful of best times lead the pack in heat number 2. Up next, heat 3.
Event 36, boys 13-14, 100-yard breaststroke. Heat number 3 of 4, 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 3, and 1 is Flickinger, 2's Nepp, 3 Troy, 4 Detweiler, 5 Mull, 6 Verma, 7 Hicks, and 8 Miller. 33 led the group for Detweiler, 33.40 to be specific, and he's got a 2 or 3 body length lead with 25 yards remaining in heat number 3. We'll see if Detweiler can place himself into some of these top seed times for the final heat coming up, heat number 4. But it'll certainly be a best time as he will touch at 1:11:34 to take the heat. That's a 1-second drop for Detweiler. Second will be Mull, 1:14:94, and third will go to lane 7, Hicks, 1:15:50 for Garrett Hicks. Rounds out the group with a 2-second drop for the podium in heat 3. Heat 4 is up. Final heat of this event.
Event 36, boys 13-14, 100-yard breaststroke. Heat number 4 of 4, 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, our final heats in the water for event number 36. This is heat number 4. Swimming in lane 1 is one of my favorite names, Cornelius Cummings. 2 is Wojnowicz. 3, Taylor. 4, Tran. 5, Hughes. 6, Cathari. 7, Vickner. 8 is Dempsey. Gavin Tran's the top seed, 101.17, and he's got a body length at the 50 mark. His first 50 is 29.23. Gavin Tran, I've been informed. So I learned while I was sitting here chatting, Gavin Tran was 12 just about a week ago. Well, if we were doing the 11 and 1200 breast, he'd certainly be the top seed in that because he's about to win the 1400 breaststroke with 10 yards remaining and a 5-yard lead for Tran. 101.17's been his best. He's going to look at about a 101.84, not about, exactly a 101.84 to take the final heat. Hughes will get second, 106.97. He's a few shy of his best. And third will be Taylor, 107.29. 2/10 drop to earn Taylor that third place spot. But it was Gavin Tran the whole way, 101.84. Up next, we've got the open women's 100 breaststroke.
Event 37, girls 100-yard breaststroke. Heat number 104, 4 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, so moving along with some more heats of 100 breaststroke. This is going to be the open girls. There's going to be 4 heats. In the water now for heat number 1 in lane 3 is Kozak. 4 is Schwartzer. 5, Tomlinson. And 6, Lerner. .37.63 leads the way at the 50 split for Izzy Lerner out of lane 6, who's the lone swimmer in the heat seated with no time. I'm rooting a little bit for Olivia Kozak out of lane 3, who's actually swimming in the open division as a 12-year-old. Oh, you know, my eyes do deceive me. Alexi Tomlinson is an 11-year-old swimming in lane 5. Man, they're earning their respect with these high school girls here. But first at the wall is going to be a 16-year-old, Izzy Lerner. Goes from no time to 120.04. Second goes to Rachel Schwartzer, 123.88. Tomlinson was in next at 129.40 and 135.43, rounded out the group for Kozak. Best time for her, and we roll on to heat number 2.
37, girls 100-yard breaststroke. Heat number 2 of 4, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 2. Swimming lane 1's new. 2 is Holmes. 3, Cole. 4, Hooper. 5, Hook. 6, Graziano. 7, Frondorfer. And 8, Mahler. Saw a pair of 37s or a grouping of 37s and 36s at the wall, so quite a bit of parity in this heat as about 5 or 6 swimmers will vie for the heat number 2 win. The leader from my angle at the 75 mark is in lane 6, Juliana Graziano. Well, in the previous heat, we were given credit where it was due to the 11 and 12-year-olds. We'll give it to Juliana as well. She's a 12-year-old racing with the high school students here and leading the way. Hopefully she can hold on here with just about 3 yards remaining. She definitely does. So Graziano takes the heat in 1:17.68. She takes a second off her previous best. Second will go to lane 8, Mahler, 1:18.49, 7 seconds from her under her previous best. And third is out of lane 4, 1:18.58 is good for Kate Hooper for third place. Up next, heat number 3.
Event 37, girls 100-yard breaststroke. Heat number 3 of 4, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 3. Swimming in lane 1 is Therese Oss, 2 Solman, 3 E-Step, 4 Horner, 5 Turner, 6 Buknovich, 7 Pari, and 8 Scranton. If Pari is Perry, let's send a parent into the lobby, with a mask on, of course, to correct me. I keep saying Pari, but could be something different. And at the 50 split here for heat number 3, it's going to be Turner who leads the way, 33.72. Is Sarah Turner's 50 split. Her best has been 110.58. Top seed is Horner. She's been 110.55. There's a little homage here to the Pirates of the Caribbean. What is that, trilogy? Quadruple? I don't know. Yeah, there's quite a few of them. As Bootstrap Bill / Sarah Turner out of lane 5 leads the way. She's got a close race from lanes 3 and 7 are right in there as well, but it's definitely going to be Turner who takes heat number 3 at 1:11.19. 1:13.11 will be good for second for E-Step. Third will be Horner, 1:14.06. So top 2 spots in the heat belong to the Keystone swimmers. That podium's broken up by Lancaster's Elizabeth Horner good for third out of lane 4. Up next, heat 4.
Event 37, girls 100-yard breaststroke. Heat number 4 of 4, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 4. Swimming in lane 1's Pari, 2 is Nop Snyder, 3 Cole, 4 Park, 5 Powell, 6 Paget, 7 Taylor, and 8 Skiles. Out of lane 8 is Skiles. The leader, though, is 30.79 from Maddie Cole in lane 3. So with 25 yards remaining, it's definitely going to be Cole with the lead. That 30 points, pretty solid. We'll see if she can put up a best. Her best has been 105.62. See if she turns in maybe more like a 104 as we approach the final wall. 106.22. So first at the wall is 106.22 for Kaylee. I got a correction on the pronunciation there. Second was lane 6, Paget, 107.15. And third was lane 2, 107.49 for Nop Snyder. So it was Maddie Kaylee out of lane 3 who took the event.
Mr. Referee.
Up next, our open boys 100 breast. There's going to be 3 heats for this one. Okay, so we're on to event number 38. This will be the end of breaststroke for us for the evening. There's 3 heats of the boys open 100-yard breaststroke. Swimming in lane 1 is Kucherenko, 2 is Alou, 3 Leave, 4 Subsc, 5 Conrad, 6 Delgado, and 7 Casse. The leader with 25 yards remaining in this group is Zach Delgado in lane 6. His previous best is 119. Based on the tempo and just based on looking at the clock, that's going to fall. He's going to be under. Oh, I'm sorry. Jeez. You know, sometimes I think they should just take my paycheck away for these events. I'm falling apart here tonight. It was actually Seth Casse who took the win for that heat. He was 1 lane up from Delgado. I'm sorry for misleading the listeners at home. 107.55 was Casse's winning time for heat number 1. Well, you see it with no time. Conrad was good for second. Third belonged to Colin Leave up in lane 3. Best times throughout for the winners in that heat, but it was definitely Seth Casse who was 107.55 to take heat number 1.
Mr. Referee.
Okay, time for some redemption in heat number 2, and I'll get some names right, hopefully, and we'll roll on and act like nothing happened. In the water for heat number 2, in lane 1's Thayer, 2's Martin, 3 Willis, 4 Maul, 5 Zhang, 6 Schonk, 7 Haskins, and 8 Singley. The leader in the home stretch of this group is swimming in lane 2. That's Jack Martin. Jack Martin's previous best is 105.74. He's going to be under that to take this heat. 101.97 takes the win for Martin, a commanding best time. Haskins is good for second, 105.04. He takes 0.8 off his previous best. Third's going to go to lane 5. That's Zhang, 105.13. Up next, heat number 3.
Event number 38, boys 100-yard breaststroke. Heat number 3 of 3, 8 swimmers.
Okay, in the water now is our final heat of breaststroke. This is the heat number 3 of the boys open 100 breast. In lane 1's E-Step, 2 Liebfried, 3 Gugino, 4 is Papanicula, 5 Kawash, 6 Weatherhold, 7 Moran, and 8 E-Step. It's Derek E-Step up in 1 and Brandon E-Step down in lane 8. The leader, though, is definitely Papanicula. That's Marcus out of lane 4. He's a 14-year-old swimming in the open division. His previous best is 1 minute .11. His 50 splits 27.23 to lead the heat by close to 2 seconds as 75 yards now remain. Second looks like it might be a race between E-Step up in 1 and Peter Kawash down in 5. Certainly Connor Moran is in that race too for second, but it's been Papanicula the whole way, and it's been Papanicula now getting the lifetime best in the lone swimmer under a minute. 59.23 or 59.25 will take the win for Papanicula. Second will belong to Kawash, 1 minute .37. That's a second and a half drop for him. And third will go to lane 7's Connor Moran, 101.50. He chops a second off his previous best as well. We're on to 200 butterfly, and I can slow down a little bit.
Event 39, girls 13-14, 200-yard butterfly. Heat number 1 of 1, 6 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now. We switched up the event. We're doing the 13-14 girls 200 fly. There's just going to be one heat, so we'll call this the championship heat. In the water for heat number 1, in lane 2 is Hosley, 3 is Borkholder, 4 Gonzalez, 5 Kupski, 6 is Christopher, and 7 is Sheldon. We're halfway through this heat, and the heat is led in commanding fashion by Lydia Gonzalez out of lane 4. 101.09 was her 100 split. My rule of thumb for young women in the 200 fly is if you're under 210, you're cooking with gas. Her previous best is 211.26, and out in that 101, she's setting herself up for a new best here as 50 yards remain in our lone heat of the 13-14 girls 200 fly. Okay, so for just eight lengths of swimming, this heat's gotten pretty spread out. We're going to see a finisher here, and it was Lydia Gonzalez, who we mentioned led the whole way. 2:12.95 will be good for the win. She's a second and a half shy of her previous best. Kupski's second, 2:19.12. Kupski takes 1 second off of her previous best time, first time under the 2:20 mark. And third will be coming in now in lane 3. That's Burkholder. 2:31.82. She's 7/10 shy of the best time. Fourth is Christopher, 2:36.58. Lane 2 will finish. That is Hosley, 2:46.06. And it'll be Sheldon with a few yards remaining as we move to the 13-14 boys 200 fly. There's only going to be 3 swimmers in that group anyway. So they'll all earn their medals today. Sheldon's last at the wall, 3:05.26 to round out the group, moving on to the 13-14 boys.
Event number 40, boys 13-14, 200-yard butterfly. Heat number 1 of 1, 3 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, so we've got, I'll call it like a swim-off light here. We got 3 swimmers vying for the title in the 13-14 boys 200 fly. In lane 3 is Bobby Dempsey. 4 is Carter Boone. 5 is Braden Todd. At his best, Carter Boone's been 2:02.88. He's out in a 26.6, and Todd was right next to him, out in a 26.5. Todd's been 2:06.74 at his best. Dempsey's been 2:11.69. So some pretty tangible goals here. We'll see if Dempsey can maybe break 2:10 for the first time. But the leader at the 100 mark is Todd by a little more than half a second, 56.71. Braden Todd's been 2:06.74 at his best, so I expect that to fall. The question is if he's any close to the 2:00 mark, which would be a pretty good accomplishment for a 13-year-old. Carter Boone is now sitting about 3 body lengths behind Todd. So Todd's swimming this event, with some distance swimmer discipline. 128.88 is his 150 split. So I don't know that he'll be under 2 minutes for the first time in his young 200 butterfly career, but he might be darn close. 2:01 would be maybe my bet. But Carter Boone has never fallen off the pace. He is about 4 body lengths behind now with a few strokes remaining for those 2 leaders. And it's Todd, who's 2:03.35 to take the event and the heat. 2:06.79 is good for second for Boone. And 2:11.69. Bobby Dempsey ties on the dot, down to the 100th of a second. Ties his previous best. It's actually impressive in its own right. Up next, the Open Girls 200 Fly.
Event number 41, girls, 200-yard butterfly. The event will have 2 heats. Heat number 1 of 2. 3 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, so this is the only 200 butterfly event where we're going to see 2 heats. The Open Women. And heat number 1 is Buck Navage in lane 3. 4 is Park. And 5 is Bonavoglia. Buck Navage was leading at the 50 mark. Lone swimmer under the 30 barrier. 28.46 is the first 50 for Julia Bucknavage. She is seated with no time, so certainly potential to take the Heat 1 win here with still about 110 yards remaining for the leader, followed by Park and Bonavoglia in second and third. Halfway split for Bucknavage, 103.33, 100 yards remaining. Okay, so leading throughout and taking the Heat win was Julia Bucknavage up in lane 3, seated with no time. Now she's got a time. It's 2:21.49. 2:24.74 is actually good for a 3-second drop for Jordan Park, who I thought closed really nicely in that second half. Last to the wall in heat number 1 is going to be Savannah Bonavoglia at a lane 5. But it was Buck Navage who took the win in this one, 2:21.49 with a heat remaining. 2:53.89 will be the time for Bonavoglia in lane 5. Next up, heat number 2.
Event 41, girls 200-yard butterfly. Heat number 2 of 2, 6 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Alrighty, so heat number 2 of 2 of the Girls Open 200 fly. In lane 2 at Stekiel, 3 is Friedlander, 4 is Perry, 5 Knopsnyder, 6 Mellinger, and 7 Packer. For those of you curious at home, when I ask for someone to come in and get me a name correction, well, sometimes people actually do it. So it is Ashley Perry in lane 4, not Pari. And good thing I got the correct pronunciation because Perry leads at the 50 mark, 27:38. Well, she's the top overall seed in the event. 2:09.60 has been her best. Okay, so the 100 split for Perry is going to be 59.12. Like I said, her best has been 2:09.60. So we'll see if she can bring this second 100 back under a 1:10 to set herself up for a new lifetime best. Second is definitely Ava Knopsnyder in lane 5. This is another good one to root for here. Ashley Mellinger in lane 6 is a 12-year-old, someone with the high schoolers. She's been 2:13.70 at her best, and she sits in third right now with 50 yards remaining. But it's definitely still Perry, 1:32.73. And based on that third 50 split, I'm feeling good about calling a best time here. Perry will hopefully come in and around the 2:06, 2:07 range. She looks like she's losing a little gas here with 25 yards remain. I think she'll be able to hold off Knopsnyder and Mellinger, but they're finishing ferociously here. Knopsnyder looks like she could do a 300 fly as she closes and closes, but won't quite get there with Perry, who's good for 2:08.13. Takes a second and a half off her previous best and takes the event win. 2:09.21 is good for second for Knopsnyder. She takes 1 second off her best. 2:10.81 is good for Mellinger, who takes 3 seconds off for third place. Fourth will be Friedlander, 2:17.42. Up next, one more heat of 200 fly, the Open Boys.
Event 42, boys 200-yard butterfly. Heat number 1 of 1, 7 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is event number 42. This is a lone heat of the boys' 200-yard butterfly. There's 7 swimmers. In lane 1's Delgado, 2's Liebfried, 3 Hoang, 4 is Desclos, 5 Kupski, 6 Estep, and 7 Mall. The leader at the halfway mark is Kupski out of lane 5. He's 55.14 for his 100 split. The next closest swimmers are the other swimmers seated toward the top of the heat. Desclose looks like he's in second. He's been 153.29 at his best. Kupski's best is 155.98. He puts up a 29.69 in the third 50. Definitely going to be the fastest third 50 split in the group. 124.83 is his 150 split. He's going to be, interestingly close to the best time. He might eclipse it by half a second or so, as he's got about 20 yards left to go. Desclose is still good for second. No, I'm sorry. Desclose is in third now. Second's going to be in lane 3, Jackson Hong. So it was Kupski, who was 154.39. He takes a whole second and a half off his best. Another swim where I've just seen him really pour it on in the second half. Second was Hong out of lane 3, 159.29. 159.28. That's good for second. And Desclose is good for third, 2:01.58. So it'll be a best time for Jackson Hong out of lane 3 and a best time for Kupski down in lane 5. 154.39 takes the Open Boys 200 Butterfly. Up next, some Heats 100 Freestyle.
Event number 43, girls 13-14, 100-yard free. We'll have 4 heats. Heat number 1, 3 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, so we're changing gears again. Next up, we've got some heats of 100 freestyle. There's going to be 4 heats for the 13-14 girls. In the water is heat number 1. I think we're missing a swimmer. Yes, okay. So it's going to be Michaela Spearing in lane 3 and Quinn Castro in lane 5. Both seated with no time. Both going out in a 30 and a 31, respectively. Spearing had the lead. Pretty rare to have a no time entered for the 100 freestyle, so whatever they go, we'll chalk it up as a best. 25 yards remain now for Spearing, and Castro is just about one body length behind in heat number 1. So Spearing will be 103.21 to take the first heat. 104.30 will be good for second for Castro. We're rolling on to heat number 2.
43, girls 13-14, 100-yard freestyle. Heat number 2, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now for heat number 2. In lane 1, it's Sellers, 2 Subsc, 3 Martin, 4 Kyle, 5 Hossley, 6 Rodriguez, and 7 Gottlieb. We saw 129 at the feet. It was Watsky out of lane 2. 29.61 was the leading split for Caitlin Watsky in lane 2. She still has the lead, but it's a tight window as lane 6. Hossley's definitely right in there. And top seed in lane 4. Kyle will be there as well. 1:02.53 takes the heat for Watsky. Second will be Gottlieb out of lane 7. And third will be Rodriguez. They are 1:03.40 and 1:04.04 for second and third, but 1:02.53 took the heat for Watsky up in lane 2. Up next, heat 3.
Event 43, girls 13-14, 100-yard freestyle. Heat number 3 of 4, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Heat number 3 is in the water now for the 13-14 girls 100 freestyle. In lane 1 is Frondorfer, 2 is Liebfried, 3 Cherix, 4 Sommer, 5 Moore, 6 Burkholder, 7 Reza, and 8 Leonard. Sommer led at the 50 mark, 27.20, so a whole body length lead is there for Truly Sommer. Okay, so it was Sommer who had the lead throughout, 57.49. Her previous best was 58.51, so that'll go down by a whole second. Moore gets second, so it's Moore in lane 5 who gets second in the heat, 58.76, actually, down to the 100th, a tie with her previous best. Well, third was in lane 3, that was Cherix, 59.39.
13-14, 100-yard freestyle. Heat number 4 of 4, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 4. This is the final heat of the 13-14 girls 100 freestyle. In lane 1 is Brownstead, 2 Zwatsky, 3 Bear, 4 Shackley, 5 Workman, 6 Allison, 7 Gugino, and 8 Hassis. First at the wall was Shackley, the lone swimmer at a 25 at her feet. She's 25.81. Leah Shackley's previous best is 53.14, pretty scorching time for a 14-year-old. We'll see how close she gets to that here, as she's got a 2 body length lead with 15 yards remaining. The rest of the heat, several swimmers neck and neck, so second place could go to lanes 2, 3, or 5, but it's Shackley who led the whole way, 53.31. Shackley's 2/10 shy of her best, but takes the event win. Workman is second, 55.25. Third will be lane 2, Watsky, 55-64. We're rolling on to the 13-14 boys.
Event 44, boys 13-14, 100-yard freestyle. Heat number 1 of 4, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, 4 heats as well for the 13-14 boys. In the water now is heat number 1. In lane 1's Detweiler, 2's Belder, 3 Van Buskirk, 4 is Sober, 5 Fink, 6 Novak, 7 Karachenko, and 8 Zamkov. There's a swimmer up in lane 1 who's seated with no time. That's Sean Detweiler, who leads the way. 26:40 is Detweiler's time at his feet for the 50, and he leads the group by several body lengths for heat number 1. Okay, 55:59 puts up the new best time for Sean Detweiler out of lane 1. Second in the heat will go to Belder, 57:64. Third will be Zamkov, 59:76. So a series of no-timers take the winning spots in that heat. They'll place into a later heat. Up next, heat number 2.
Event 44, boys 13-14, 100-yard freestyle. Heat number 2 of 4, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now for heat number 2. Lane 1's Covington, 2 is Owens, 3 Johnson, 4 Troy, 5 McGovern, 6 Flickinger, 7 is Knepp, and 8 Henyon. The leader with about 25 yards remaining looks like it's lane 5's McGovern, but Flickinger and Henyon are right in there too. They're all seated at 101s and 102s, so we'll see how close they get to the minute mark. A minute will take the heat. Minute .30 is good for Flickinger for first. Second will be Henyon, minute .87. Third's going to be McGovern, 101.12. So all best times for those young men as we round out heat number 2. Next up, heat number 3.
Event 44, boys 13-14, 100-yard freestyle. Heat number 3 of 4, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now for heat number 3. In lane 1 is Desclus, 2 is Mall, 3 Cathari, 4 is Miller, 5 Hicks, 6 Kassé, 7 Reese, and 8 Verma. Top seed for the heat is Bryce Miller in lane 4. He's been 55-24 at his best, and he leads the group by a full body length. Like we said, he'd been 55. He might be 54 here. Yep, 54-52. We'll take heat number 3 for Miller. Second will be Hicks, 55-81. Third's good for Kassé, 55-98. So a bunch of swimmers seated with 56 and 57. Well, they're all 55 now. So 54-52 takes the heat for Bryce Miller. Up next, the final heat for the 13-14 boys, heat number 4.
Event 44, boys 13-14, 100-yard freestyle. Heat number 4 of 4, 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
As a true freshman. Okay, in the water now is heat number 4. This will be our final heat for the 13-14 boys. In lane 1, it's Tran. 2's Hughes, 3 Cummings, 4 Taylor, 5 Kermakov, 6 Boone, 7 Wojnowicz, and 8 Vichner. The top seed is Ryan Taylor from Lancaster in lane 4. He's 52-58, has been his best. He leads by just shy of a body length, but on his left and right are a series of swimmers right in there as well, so can't quite call who's going to get second right now, but it's definitely going to be Ryan Taylor who takes the event. 52-16. He takes 0.4 of a second off his previous best. Second goes to Cummings up in lane 3, 53-06. Cummings is just 1/10 shy of his previous best. Third is going to be lane 6, Boone, who goes 53.07, good for third and 7/100ths shy of Carter Boone's previous best. But it was Ryan Taylor who took the event, 52.16. Up next, the open girls.
Event 45, girls 100-yard freestyle. Heat number 1 of 5, 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, so in the water for heat number 1 of the open girls is McMillan in lane 1, Schwartzer in 2, Graziano in 3, New in 4, Van Buskirk in 5, Tomlinson in 6, Ivankovic in 7, and Lerner in 8. The winner for the group is going to be Lerner at 8. Izzy was seated with no time. She's got a time now, 59.35. Second was Graziano, 102.99. Third was New, 105.81. That rounds out heat number 1. There's 4 more heats to go. Up next, heat number 2.
Event 45, girls 100-yard freestyle. Heat number 2 of 5, 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now for heat number 2. In lane 1's E-step, 2 is Hooper, 3 Hawk, 4 Packer, 5 Hassan, 6 Han, 7 Fickett, and 8 Kawash. Top seed is the first swimmer we've seen seeded under a minute. 59:19 is the seed time for Caitlin Packer in lane 4. The one leading the way at the 50 mark for heat number 2, though, is Alicia Hahn in lane 6. 28:05 is her 50 split. She's just got a hair on lanes 1 and 4. That's E-step and Packer. So it's anyone's race with about 15 yards remaining. Okay, 59:02 is the winning time for Han, who holds on the whole way. She goes a new lifetime best. Second will be, I lost it. The swimmer in lane 4, Caitlin Packer, 59:68. 59:79 is good for third for Hassan out of lane 5. Up next, heat number 3.
Event 45, girls 100-yard freestyle. Heat number 3 of 5, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 3 of 5 of the Open Girls 100 Freestyle. In lane 1's Price and 2 Duquette, 3 Scranton, 4 is Duquette, 5 Turner, 6 Taylor, 7 Crawford, and 8 Frondorfer. The Duquettes in 2 and 4, well, it's Kate up in lane 2, and Megan is the top seed in lane 4. Megan's been 56:33 at her best, and Megan's the one who leads the way right now. The second fastest in the heat with 25 yards remaining is in lane 5, Sarah Turner. Okay, so as Duquette threw out, and 56:11 ends up being the winning time, 2/10 faster than her previous best. Second will be Turner, 56:70. She's a 10th shy of her best. Third will go to the swimmer in lane 7. That was Ella Crawford, 57:90, who puts up a best time by 3/10. We got 2 more heats remaining for the Open Girls.
Event 45, girls 100-yard freestyle. Heat number 4 of 5, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
In the water for for heat number 4, lane 1's Perry, 2's Mellinger, 3 McCool, 4 Cole. Kaylee. 4 is Kaylee and 5's Kaylee. That's why I had to get the correction. 6 is Perry, so 4 out of the 8 swimmers are ones who I've gotten name corrections on. 7's Paget and 8 is Benka Davies. Spent the whole heat worrying about names. I missed telling you who the leader is, but I'll tell you who's first at the wall. 54:79 takes it for Kaylee down in lane 5. Second was McCool in lane 3. Second was 54:96. The winning time was 54:79 for Maddie. And it was in lane 6, Ashley Perry, who took third in the group, 55:21. So the 54s there were good for best times because everyone was seated at a 55.
Event 45, girls 100.
So best time for Maddie Kaylee out of lane 5. Up next, the final heat, heat number 5. Okay, this is our final heat for the Open Girls 100 Freestyle. In the water in lane 1 is Steckel, and 2 is Park, 3 Knop Snyder, 4 Hurlman, 5 is Collins, 6 Bucknovich, 7 is Friedlander, and 8 Mahler. I want to make this announcement before I get distracted any further. There is some snow in the forecast for the Cumberland Valley coming up this evening or tomorrow sometime. I just want to clarify that as of now, the meet is moving on full steam ahead. We'll make a more informed decision tomorrow if anything changes. But for now, you didn't hear the word delay. You didn't hear the word cancellation from me. We are moving on undaunted, barring any changes tomorrow. And the winner for this event, she was leading throughout with a nice strong stroke. That was Knop Snyder. 53-12 took the event, and a new lifetime best for Ava Knop Snyder out of lane 3. 53-12. Second was in lane 4, Hurlman, 53-97. 54-28 belonged to lane 5. Collins, good for third place in the group. So it was Knop Snyder who took the win. 53-12 as we move on to the Open Boys.
Boys 100-yard freestyle, heat number 1 of 5. 3 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Alrighty, in the water now is heat number 1 of the boys 100 freestyle. There's going to be 5 heats. There's 3 swimmers in the water for heat 1. It's Lee in lane 3, Ivanchikov in 4, and Kuchnarenko in 5. Got to shout out my buddy Ryan Lee in lane 3, my lifeguard recertification classmate a couple weeks ago. So enjoyed getting to practice our CPR with Ryan. And, well, Ryan's going to take heat number 1 in commanding fashion. They're all seated with no time, so whatever we get we'll be pleased with, I'm sure. But it's going to be Ryan Lee, who's in at 51.43 to take heat number 1. 54.48 is second for Ivanchikov, and 56.90 is good for third for Daniel Kucherenko. Up next, heat number 2.
Event 46, boys 100-yard freestyle. Heat number 2 of 5, 7 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
In the water for heat number 2, in lane 1 is Singleith, 2 is Conrad, 3 Leaf, 4 Texter, 5 is Casse, 6 Delgado, and 7 Alui. The leader at the halfway point was a 25.77 at the feet for Daniel Casse in lane 5. 25.5 was up in lane 1 for Michael Singley. So it'll be one of those 2 at the wall. But they had a nice finish coming together for the top seed, too. Jacob Texter, who's having a strong final 25. But I think it's going to be lane 1, Singley, 53.65. 53.79 is good for Casse for second. And third will be Texter, 54.67. Up next, heat number 3.
Event number 46, boys 100-yard freestyle, heat number 3 of 5, 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 3. Swimming in lane 1, Subsc. 2's Dempsey. There might not be rivals, but it sounds like rivals with the rhyming names. 3's Orndorff. 4's Kupski. 5 Erdley. 6 Witt. 7 Estep. And 8 Hughes. The commanding lead belongs to Kupski in lane 4. Well, he's been impressing me all night, and for the first time in his young swimming career, he breaks the 50-point mark. 49.91 is good for the win for Kupski. Second will be up in lane 3. That was Orndorff. 51.64. Third in the group is in lane 5, Sean Erdley. 51.89. So 49.91 is the first sub 50 we've seen for Kupski out of lane 4. Up next, heat 4.
Event 46, boys 100-yard freestyle. Heat number 4 of 5. 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 4. Swimming in lane 1's Martin, 2 Mole, 3 Zhang, 4 Schonk, 5 Weatherhold, 6 Nolde, 7 Groff, and 8 Dobkowski. 23.42 led the way for Jack Martin out of lane 1. He might be the next swimmer we see under 50 point. After Kupski set the new standard in the previous heat, but the top seed for the group, Schonk, out of lane 4, is right in there too. But it'll be Martin who leads the way by 5/100ths of a second. 49.60 is the time to take heat number 4 for Martin. Schonk's 49.65. Third is in lane 5 there. That's Weatherhold, 50.32. We got one heat remaining, heat number 5.
Event 46, boys 100-yard freestyle, heat number 5 of 5. 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, this is the last heat we're going to see of 100 freestyles. This is heat number 5 of the open boys. In lane 1's Thayer, 2's McMillan, 3 Estep, 4 Papaniccola, 5 Brownstead, 6 Lambert, 7 Moran, and 8 Gugino. The top seed, Papaniccola, is first at the wall by about 0.8 of a second. He's followed by Brownstead. 22.01's the split for Papaniccola. Brownstead's 22.83. So the top seed time, Marcus Papaniccola, 14-year-old. Wow, he's been 46.29 at his best, and he's 46.16. Well, how about a best time and an open boys win for a 14-year-old? Lane 4, Papaniccola puts up 46.16 for the win. 48.37's good for second for John Brownstead. Third is going to be right above that pack, Derek Estep out of lane 3. Well, he's a 14-year-old as well. 48.98. The young men coming and stepping right up with the high school boys. Up next, 200 IM.
Event number 47, girls 13-14, 200-yard IM. Heat number 1 of 3. 3 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, so we're changing gears pretty significantly here. We're looking at some heats of 200-yard individual medley. There's going to be 3 heats for the 13-14 girls, 2 lengths of each stroke, starting out with butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, and finishing up with freestyle. This heat has 3 swimmers. In lane 3 is Sellers, 4 Johnston, and 5 is Gottlieb. 1 swimmer in the heat has a seed time. Lily Johnston's been 3:02.98 at her best, so we're going to be rooting for her to break the 3-minute mark for the first time. But the leader, as we're halfway through the backstroke, is definitely Gottlieb in lane 5 at the bottom of your screen. Heat number 1, 200 individual medley, 5 lengths to go.
Just a reminder, everybody, when you're exiting the pool, we're going to exit from the scoreboard end of the pool. The scoreboard end of the pool, we're exiting out that door, please. And also a reminder to everybody, we should be wearing our masks. If we're not in the water swimming, we should have our masks on. We appreciate everybody. We want you to be back here. We want you to stay nice, healthy, happy, and sane. Thank you.
Okay, 50 yards remain for Elizabeth Gottlieb, who's led throughout. She was 2:10.20 at her 150 split, so she might finish maybe a hair under 250 for her first ever time in the 200 IM. Second is definitely going to be Sophie Sellers up in lane 3. Third will be Johnston. Well, we'll get the times to you in just a second here as Gottlieb has a couple yards to go. She'll be 2:47.53 to take heat number 1. 2:52.60 will be second for Sellers. Johnston's 5 yards out now. She will be 3:01.06 to round out the heat. She puts up a best time by close to 2 seconds. Up next, heat number 2.
Event 47, girls 13-14, 200-yard IM. Heat number 2 of 3, 7 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 2. Swimming in lane 1's Rodriguez. 2's Martin, 3 Cherix, 4 Castro, 5 Frondorfer, 6 is Leonard, and 7 Sheldon. Aren't those some Big Bang Theory characters? Leonard in lane 6 and Sheldon in lane 7? Anyone a Big Bang Theory? No. Well, someone come correct me if I'm wrong. That's always my philosophy here, but I think I'm onto something there. The top seed is Quinn Castro in lane 4. She's been 2:31.07 at her best. The group is led right now by lane 3, Courtney Cherix. Okay, so it looks like it's anyone's race now with 50 yards remaining in heat number 2. There's going to be about 3 swimmers in together at the breaststroke mark. The leader of that group is Leonard in lane 6, 156.83. But there's a 157 and a 158, so whoever puts up the fastest breaststroke split will get heat number 2. I'm sorry, freestyle. Did I say breaststroke? Whoever puts up the fastest freestyle split will take it. And it looks like it's going to be Courtney Cherricks out of lane 3. Her seated time is 2:33.28. She's going to drop off of that. 2:29.65 is the new best time for Cherricks and the new standard to take the win in the 13-14 girls 2IM. Leonard's second, 2:32.46. That's a best time for Leonard as well. Third place will be Frondorfer, 2:34.26. That rounds out the top 3 in heat number 2. 1 heat remaining for the 13-14 girls.
Event number 47, girls 13-14, 200-yard IM. Heat number 3 of 3. 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Alrighty, in the water is our final heat of the 13-14 girls 2IM. It's heat number 3. Swimming in lane 1's Hassis, 2 is Subsc, 3 more, 4 Gagino, 5 Shackley, 6 Allison, 7 Ureza, and 8 Burkholder. Lily Gagino out of lane 4 is the top seed by a pretty good margin. 2:09.19 is her best. Okay, right now we got an 8-way tie on the scoreboard. 24.6 is the frozen, something's frozen up there on the scoreboard, so I'll just freestyle it. Well, I got a wristwatch on for a reason. I'll make up the times. The leader, though, without a time, is lane 5. Leah Shackley led at the halfway point. Leah Shackley's best has been 2:14.79. Maybe something will show up on there at the 200 mark, but if not, I can tell you who gets first, second, and third if I pay attention. But the leader now, so maybe breaststroke is what separates Gagino. With these seed times, we know she's got the best. Breaststroke could be her strong suit, as she's got a body length or 2 now for the lead as we approach 50 yards remaining in the 13-14 girls 2IM. Wow, I don't see it like that every day. The scoreboard's completely blank now. Oh, it's flashing. There's something up there. Whatever. Gagino isn't distracted by the scoreboard malfunctions as she has a, 5 body length lead now.
The timing system is working and accurate right here.
At with about 15 yards to go, they're announcing to the timers, go ahead and use your plungers and your stopwatches. The timing system will still work even if the scoreboard doesn't reflect it. It was Gagino with the win. I got no idea what the time is. Second was in lane 5. Third was in lane 3. So that's pretty easy to keep track of anyway. Shackley was good for second. Lily Moore's third. So we might take a real brief pause to get the scoreboard up and going before we see the 13-14 boys 200-yard IM.
Event 48, boys 13-14, 200-yard IM. Heat number 1 of 4. 4 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, we're doing it the old-fashioned way now, folks. I got my wristwatch going. And we've got heat number 1 of the 13-14 boys 200 individual medley. Van Buskirk is in lane 3. Zamkov is in 4. Karchenko is in 5. And Belder is in 6. Scoreboard's still blank. I'll just give you the analog, read it off here. The leader at the butterfly mark is Stephen Belder out of lane 6. We won't worry about times regardless in this heat because all 4 boys are seated with no time. So whatever I get on the wrist we'll call those best times regardless. Belder still leads halfway through the backstroke. Interesting approach for Zamkov in 4. He did an open turn on the backstroke. That's pretty interesting. And he and Karchenko are kind of close together at the end of the back, but at the halfway split, it's still Belder with 100 yards remaining. Okay, 2:22. I can't get you the decimals. 2:22 looked like the winning time for lane 6. 4 was 1 second off. So I'm going to tell you Belder might have been around a 2:22. Zamkov might have been 2:23. The scoreboard's still not giving me anything, though. Third definitely belonged to Karchenko, and Van Buskirk will round out the heat. You got heat number 2 coming up. I'm hoping the scoreboard gets going eventually here, but keep giving you the best I can. Heat 2 is a full heat, 8 swimmers coming up.
Event 48, boys 13-14, 200-yard IM. Heat number 2 of 4, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 2 of 4 of the 13-14 boys 2 IM. Eggert's in lane 1, Novak's in 2, Owens in 3, 4 is Reese, 5 Nepp, 6 Bonavoglia, 7 is Johnson, and 8 Fink. Okay, so we got the finish there for heat number 2. The top seed in lane 4, Reese, definitely took the event. I'm sorry if I'm kind of leaving you high and dry there at home, but we still got nothing on the scoreboard. I don't know. I almost wish they would pause the heats and spend 2 or 3 minutes correcting it. We're, I think, ahead of the timeline, so we could afford to, but so sorry I can't get you times right now. But I know Davis Reese out of lane 4 took heat number 2 there. We'll keep an eye on the scoreboard and see if we can get you updated. At the least, I can give you names, and you can watch where your swimmer touches in the heat.
Boys 13-14, 200-yard IM. Heat number 3 of 4. 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, looks like we got the scoreboard back, so I'll be back to getting you some accurate times here for heat number 3 of the 13-14 boys. Okay, in the water for heat number 3 in lane 1, it's Troy. 2's Miller. 3 Mull. 4 Desclose. 5 is Kassay. 6 Cathari. 7 Detweiler. And 8 Hicks. Top seeds 223.09. That's Desclose and 4. Okay, leader at the first 50 mark, 28.96 was the fastest first split. That was Detweiler up in lane 7. Sean Detweiler's been 2:25.65 at his best, so not seated much behind the middle of the pool here. And he's got a 2 body length lead as we approach the halfway point of heat number 3. But as we know, this race is often determined by the breaststroke, so we'll see how that unfolds here in just a second. Okay, so as I mentioned, that breaststroke split can open the pack up. It can either expand the lead or shrink it. Well, it's definitely been an advantage for Detweiler, who's going to have several seconds on the next closest swimmer in the field after the breaststroke split. 144.55 is where he is with 50 yards remaining. So if he can turn in around a 30 and change on that 50 free split, Detweiler will set himself up nicely for a best time. 225 has been his best. Well, his new best might be as fast as maybe 217 or so. All right, I call it as I see it. 217.46 is the winning time for Detweiler. He chops 8 off his previous best. Seconds, Mull up in lane 3, 221.21. That's a best time for him by 3 seconds. Kassay in 5's good for third. 221.64. He's got a best by 2 seconds as well. Some big drops in heat number 3. Well, they got the scoreboard fixed, and it brought some good juju with it. Up next, heat number 4.
Event 48, boys 13-14, 200-yard IM. Heat number 4 of 4. 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, our final heat's in the water for the 13-14 boys 200 IM. This is heat number 4, the championship heat, and 1 is Vikner, 2's Kermakov, 3 Hughes, 4 Todd, 5 Tran, 6 is Taylor, 7 Cummings, and 8 Wojnowicz. 2:05.34 is the top seed time for Braden Todd, 13-year-old in lane 4. Todd's definitely got the lead by 2 whole seconds after the butterfly split. You know, there's a lot of different approaches in the 2IM. Some think they'll pick off the field in the second half. Braden Todd's showing off one of the approaches that I like to see as a coach. Get the lead and hold it. So hopefully that's what he's setting himself up for here as He had a commanding lead at the butterfly, and he's not looking back on backstroke. He is the top overall seed, and he's most closely pursued by Gavin Tran in lane 5, right up above him. Todd's 57.60 at the halfway split. Okay, so Todd's still got the lead at the 150 mark, but it's by 0.2 of a second. We know Tran is definitely a breaststroke specialist, and he closed that gap pretty significantly. But Braden Todd looks like he's got the tempo necessary to hold on, but Tran's finishing strongly as well. Their bests have been 2:05 and 2:06. They might sneak couple tenths under that. Yeah, they'll take 1 second off their best. So Todd's good for 2:04.64, about 7 tenths under his best to win the event. Tran's 2:05.26. He takes 9 tenths of a second off. Third goes to Taylor in lane 6, 2:13.28. About a half a second off for Taylor from his best, but it'll be Braden Todd, who led throughout. 2:04.64 takes the 13-14 boys to IM.
Event 49, girls 200-yard IM, heat number 1 of 4, 7 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now. We're starting out the open girls 200-yard IM. There's going to be 4 heats in the water for heat number 1. Got a couple no-shows. Lane 2 is new. 4 Holmes, 5 Frondorfer, 6 Kawash, and 7 Bonavoglia. So we're missing lanes 1 and 3 here, so some people think that can be an advantage. Get less wake in your lane. Lane 4 will be leading at the halfway point. That is Jordan Holmes. 2:28.69 is her best. 1:08.84 is her 100 split. Okay, 50 yards remain now for Holmes, who's had the lead throughout. It's going to be a good race for second between Frondorfer and Kawash in 5 and 6. Actually closing on Holmes a bit here in the home stretch. I think she'll have enough of a cushion there to hold him off, but, man, it's going to be close. A real nice finish coming together for Frondorfer in 5. Okay, yeah, she just about gets there, but out-splitting Holmes by 3 seconds in the final 50. But Holmes holds on, 2:30.21. 2:30.35 is second for Frondorfer. And Kawash is third, 2:31.26. Fourth is going to be new, 2:44.48. 2:49 will round out the group, 2:49.09 for Bonavoglia. Up next, heat number 2.
Event number 49, girls 200 IM. Heat number 2 of 4 should be 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water for heat number 2. In lane 1 is Solman, 2 is Banka Davies, 3 Price, 4 Terezas, 5 Perry, 6 Skiles, 7 Estep, and 8 Hassan. .103.97 leads the group out of lane 4, Terezas. Terezas is the top seed in heat number 2. Her best has been 2:21.22. Nice breaststroke split coming together for Mia Perry in 5. She will be right contending for the lead with 50 yards remaining, with Olivia Terezas. And third could be a race between a few swimmers. It looks like right now it belongs to Price in lane 3. So, like I said, that breaststroke split definitely belonged to Perry, who's got the lead by 0.8 of a second in the 50 split. Swimming a nice second half here. Terezas is definitely going to earn second. And it'll be Price for third, with about 15 yards remaining for the leaders in the group. The previous best for Mia Perry has been 2:21. She's going to be right under that, 2:18.62. 2:19.96 is Terezas for second. Third's Price, 2:21.02. So a 3-second drop earns the win in heat number 2 for Perry, 2:18.62. Up next, heat number 3.
Event 49, girls 200-yard IM. Heat number 3 of 4. 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
All right, heat number 3 is in the water now for our open women's 200 individual medley. Lane 1's Workman, 2 Bucknavage, 3 Taylor, 4 Powell, 5 McCool, 6 Swatchski, 7 Scranton, and 8 Steckel. So we got some mid-2 teens here for our top seeds. 2:14.94 is Carrie Powell's top seed. Some 2:15s and 2:16s around her, so we'll see whoever gets closer to 2:10 might take the heat. From my vantage point, it looks like lane 5's Kia McCool is going to be leading with 125 yards remaining as she pieces together a nice backstroke leg here. 100 yards to go in heat number 3. McCool will have the lead at the halfway point. Okay, so it's still McCool with the lead with 50 yards remaining, and there's a swimmer on her left and her right who will race for second. That's Powell and Watsky, who are both going to want that second position. McCool has held the lead throughout. Let's make a joke. McCool's been cool under pressure, held the lead, and 20 yards to go. Like we said, McCool's seed time's 2:15.72. She will come in under that, but it might be around a 14. 2:14.19 takes heat number 3. McCool's got it. Powell's good for second. 2:17.60. 2:18.66 goes to Watsky for third. We got one heat remaining in the open women's 200 individual medley.
Event 49, girls 200-yard IM, heat number 4 of 4, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, we got the championship heat here for the Open Women's 200 Individual Medley. This is heat number 4. In lane 1's Mellinger, 2's Perry, 3 Knopsnyder, 4 Castro, 5's Collins, 6 Horner, 7 Hurlman, and 8 Perry. 2 Perrys in the group. Kayla Perry's up in lane 2. Ashley Perry's at the bottom of your screen in lane number 8. Top seed is Jade Castro. 2:06.27 is the standard for this heat. And it looks like the one racing Castro the closest right now is Hurlman in 7, but she's got her work cut out for her. Castro's got a lead already as they approach the breaststroke leg. Like we said, she's been 2:06 at her best. We'll get the 100 split for you for Castro. 59.34. Second was definitely Hurlman at the 100 split, 101.53. And then we see some 2s, 3s, and 4s throughout the rest of the heat. Okay, we'll see if anyone wants to step up and challenge Castro here in the second half, but right now it's her race with 75 yards remaining. Okay, so it's definitely been Jade Castro's race throughout, and she's just expanded the lead here in the second half. She'll be first at the wall. She won't get her lifetime best, but she won't be too far off. 2:08.50 is the winning time for Castro. 2:12.17. Ooh, it's a 100th of a second separating second and third. So Mellinger's good for second. 2:12.17. 2:12.18 will be third for Knopsnyder. Those are best time up there out of lane 1 for Mellinger to take second in the event. So that's good to see. But it was Castro the whole way. 2:08.50 takes the event. One event remaining in this evening's session, the boys 4 IM. I'm sorry, boys 2 IM.
Event number 50, boys 200-yard IM. There will be 4 heats. Heat number 1 of 4, 3 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, we're in the home stretch here. 4 heats remaining. This is the final event, the Open Boys 200 IM. In the water for heat number 1 in lane 3 is Thayer, 4 is Henderson, and 5, Kucharenko. Henderson's the only one with a seed time. Henderson's also a 12-year-old stepping up and swimming an open. Looks like The leader, though, is definitely going to be Nathan Thayer out of lane 3. At the butterfly split, Thayer was 26-22. Okay, 50 yards remain, and it's been Thayer's race the whole way. 3 seconds behind him is Kucharenko, but 143.10 is the 150 split for Nathan Thayer. We'll see. He'll finish probably in the two teens here. Yep. So the clock's ticking closer to 2:10. We'll expect maybe a 2:12 out of Thayer to take heat number 1 here. So he's 2:14.51, 2:18.71's good for Kucharenko for second. Henderson will be at the wall now, representing for the 12-year-olds with the open boys. I wouldn't complain about dropping 30 seconds if I was Caden Henderson. 2:25.22 is his time to round out the heat. Up next, heat 2.
Event number 50, boys 200-yard IM, heat number 2 of 4. We have 6 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, 6 swimmers in the water now for heat number 2 of 4. Nolde is in lane 2, Hughes in 3, 4 is Texter, 5 Singley, 6 Kassé, and 7 Conrad. Okay, it was Singley and Nolde right together at the first 50 split, giving themselves about a body length lead after fly, but looks like a nice backstroke split to put himself right up at the top of the pack is Jacob Texter, the top seed in the heat. He's been 2:10.59 at his best, but the lead right now still belongs to Kevin Nolde up in lane 2. Okay, a good race shaping up here with 75 yards to go, though. Like I mentioned, Texter's the top seed. His breaststroke split looks a little stronger than Nolde. They're going to be neck and neck going into freestyle. The strongest breaststroker, though, looks like Michael Singley in 5, who's going to be just about even with the 2 as well. So a second separates those 3 boys with 50 freestyle remaining. Nolde is led throughout. Texter is the top seed, and they're going to be stroke for stroke here at the 50 mark. I can't even tell who's got the lead. A little bit of a longer underwater for Nolde, whose seed time is 8 seconds slower than Texter's, so he's going to be satisfied wherever they finish. And it is Nolde who finishes stronger after leading for most of the race. 2:10.92 is an 8-second drop for Kevin Nolde to take heat number 2. Texter is good for second, 2:11.80. Third, Singley, 2:14.98. 4 will be Cassay, 2:15.73. Up next, heat number 3.
Event number 50, boys 200-yard IM, heat number 3 of 4, 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
All right, in the water now is heat number 3. Swimming lane 1, Subsc. 2's Liebfried. 3, Witt. 4, McMillan. 5, Hong. 6 is Willis. 7, Groff. And 8, Haskins. The fastest butterfly split was 25.43 for Hong out of 5. Jackson Hong has been 2:03.58 at his best. 2:02.95 is the top seed, Aiden McMillan. He's just about tied for second with 3 other swimmers in the heat. A 1 body length lead belongs to Hong in 5 as they approach the halfway mark in heat number 3. So Hong still has it by 1 full second. 56.02 is his 100 split. We'll see if anything gets shaken up in the breaststroke here. Okay, so it's been Jackson Hong throughout, and he's expanded his lead a bit in the breaststroke here. Yeah, the nice 36.0 breaststroke split, 132.03 is his 150 split. He'll lead the pack by 5 yards, representing for Hagerstown Y. As he closes in, his best has been 2:03.58. Oh, that's going to fall right now. And next on his list of goals will be breaking 2:00. 2 minutes, .18 takes the heat win for Hong. Seconds, McMillan, 2:04.47. 2:04.64 is good for third for Liebfried. But the nice new best time goes to Jackson Hong, who led throughout, 2:00.18. We've got 1 heat remaining this evening, heat number 4.
Event number 50, boys 200-yard IM, heat number 4 of 4, 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, folks. In the water now is the final heat of this evening's session. I'll mention one more time that barring any changes, we're going forward tomorrow with tomorrow's session. I know there's inclement weather potentially scheduled, but, forecasted. We're scheduled to swim. The weather is forecasted. But, I'm no meteorologist, so for now we're swimming tomorrow. And, yeah, I guess I outed myself not being a meteorologist. How about I tell you the names of the swimmers in heat number 4 as they approach the halfway point? In the water in lane 1 is Lambert, 2 is Schonk, 3 Estep, 4 Moran, 5 Kawash, 6 is Papaniccola, 7 Gagino, and 8 Martin. The leader at the halfway point was a 52.99 scorching halfway split for Peter Kawash out of lane 5. He's got a body length, but there's 3 other swimmers right there with 75 yards remaining. Papa Nicola, we've seen several strong performances from him throughout. Connor Moran is right there as well. And up in lane 2, Ethan Schonk is racing for that second position. So Kawash will still have the lead. And as long as he can hold on in freestyle, he might be looking at an event win here. So he has a 1-second lead with 50 yards remaining. The next closest swimmer was Papa Nicola. 1:57 is the top seed time for Moran and Kawash. Have both been 1:57 at their best. It might be a 1:56 that takes the event. Yep, it'll be Kawash who takes it by 6/100ths of a second. 1:56.49 is the new best for him. New best goes to Marcus Papanicola right up in the lane above him. 1:56.55 is good for lane 6, second place. Third will be the top seed Moran. 1:58.47. He's a second shy of his previous best. So Peter Kawash led throughout, took the event win. 1:56.49 rounds out this evening's session. We'll be back tomorrow with a morning session, a mid-afternoon session, and an evening session. I'll check back in just a second after we hear from our public address.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming to Keystone Aquatic Center for the KA Winter Invitational. And again, there is Winter Invitational because it is winter. There is forecasted for some weather tomorrow. We will keep everybody updated on the status of our meets as we go along. Please make sure you clean up the area you're at. Make sure we don't leave any caps, goggles, clothing, or food behind. We thank you again for coming, and we drive home safely. Thank you.
Okay, so I'll stop echoing the same sentiment. You've heard it a couple times. We're going on right now, regardless of the forecast tomorrow. Keep an eye on your notifications tomorrow morning to see if anything changes. But we've got several sessions scheduled for tomorrow, Sunday sessions of the KA Winter Invitational. Make sure you like and subscribe on Facebook and YouTube. Tell your friends, hey, they're putting together a pretty good broadcast at that Keystone Aquatic Center. And we'll catch you tomorrow for Sunday's events at the KA Winter Invitational. See you then.